Is it possible to design a functional floor plan in the shape of the number 4? In this episode, I'm going to answer that question. Welcome to Will It Floor Plan. I'm Dori Azar, a licensed architect that specializes in space planning, sometimes extreme space planning. Come on, let's get started. So when starting these floor plans, I know that I have to keep some kind of scale, or I have to assign some kind of scale to the whole project at first. And from a little bit of experience in working with irregular floor plans and of different letters and numbers, the overall width of this house is 55 feet, or about 16.8 meters. The overall depth of this house is about 89.5 feet, or 27.3 meters. And the total area of the house is 2,775 square feet, which is approximately 258 meters squared. Each sort of section of this floor, so each stroke there, I guess you would say is about 17 feet wide, which is about 5 meters. So with those constraints established, there's a couple of things that jumped out at me at first when looking at this plan. And taking a look at the angle here, that really made me want to consider that an entrance. So I'm just going to write entry there. And then there was something about this that kind of called out to me that this would be an interesting location for a garage. Making it a 2-car garage, we could have one car that way and one car that way. And what this does is it allows us to, let's say, however we end up building out that entry, it's going to give us the opportunity for connection between the garage and the entrance there. So based on that, it got me thinking that maybe we should do like a mud room, which if you're not familiar with what a mud room is, it's a room where you can drop off your bags, your things when you get home from work. You come in from the garage into the mud room, hang up your coats, put your bags down. But it's also not uncommon for them to house your laundry facilities as well. So we can take a look at putting that there. And then because it's kind of an irregular shape, and I do like to try to incorporate basements into these designs, I thought maybe we could do kind of an L-shaped staircase in this position here. So you could come down in this direction, go down to the basement. I'm left with kind of two spaces left, sort of one long space here and then one parallel space here. So in looking at this, I thought, what if we could approximately treat that as living space and treat this area as bedroom area? So if let's call it public space and private space. Okay, and what that allows us to do is revolve them both around this courtyard area here. So it's still going to be a central core space that allows us to bring a lot of natural light into the middle of the building. Based on that, I still might want to keep a walkway around that courtyard, just so it's not cut off. So, you could run all the way around if you wanted to. And then that would, we'll come up with some way to divide this space into bedrooms and bathrooms for the guests. And then maybe here we can do like living room, dining room, kitchen. And then this sort of as it starts to get narrower, maybe a powder room, maybe a back door. We do have some options there in how we want to set that up. So let me show you what I came up with. I'll walk you through the plan. I'll talk to you about some of the decisions that I made along the way and see what you think. So here's the plan that I ultimately landed on. Let me walk you through it a little bit and explain to you how I arrived at it. So it turned out the approach to the garage was going to work in both directions there, which kind of makes for a fun shaped garage. Nothing saying the 2 cars have to be side by side. And because that part of the 4 pops out a little bit, we do have the opportunity to do a door there. I did consider doing a door here, so that you could exit towards the front of the house. But here we had a little nook where we wanted to do maybe a workbench. And we also thought maybe it'd be better to keep that door private so that people didn't see it from the road. We kept it as kind of a private back entrance there. From the driveway, we would have a sidewalk that would lead visitors to the front door there, as we originally thought. And then that shapes us up to have our entrance here. And we did manage to fit a coat closet, the stairs as we thought. And then we're going to have this sort of a large wall here, and that's going to be a fireplace for the living room on the other side, which we'll get to in a second. We were able to do the mud room here, so now as the homeowners come home, you can come in to the mud room here, hang up your coats there, and then continue on into the house where you can go left to go to the public space or right to go down the hallway to the bedroom area. Now, as I thought, we were able to get this space to work out as the living room, dining room, kitchen. So what's kind of neat here is that we do still have windows there. We could still have a large patio door to access the side yard there. a kitchen window. And then the living room, you could bypass the furniture by walking on each side of it. Focal point is a fireplace here, but also has views into this courtyard area. So you're going to really have a nice balance of natural light from the courtyard side, but also from the backyard side, the side yard side there. The dining room is located in the middle, again, benefiting from both of those sources of natural light. And then the kitchen, here's where it gets kind of interesting, is because I wanted to keep this, for structural purposes, I wanted to keep that all in line. I ended up with a small wall here that could be maybe like a built-in pantry, floor to ceiling cabinet, something like that. And then the island in the kitchen kind of fills that space there, provides an offset from that cabinet, and then still provides us with ample cabinet storage there. I was also able to keep that whole walkway open as we wanted to do. So now if you wanted to circulate around the house, you did have that opportunity to walk around the courtyard. But also keep in mind that I made this wall opaque so that when you're in the living room, you're not looking straight through glass walls to the bedroom. It kind of stops there, and that gives it an opportunity for some exterior treatments or some cool materials that you could recall on the inside of the house as well. Down the bedroom side, we have a bedroom here, a shared bathroom for those 2 bedrooms and guests. That's how that's going to have to shape up there. And then at the back, we have the primary bedroom set up. So the sleeping areas at the back of the house, so it's got a window there, and then the rest of the space is separated. Walk-in closets here, an ensuite bath here, and I keep those on the exterior wall so that we have access to a window there. And at the back of the house, we were able to keep it open so you could have a walkway right straight through to the back of the house. So you do have it out the side dining room or out the back of the house, and also wedge in a small 2-piece bath right there for visitors. And then the back area is just kind of maybe a little bench or a seating area if you let the dog out. Some of the changes that I would make to it if I were going to revisit it again, or if this was for an actual client, I would probably take a closer look at these bedrooms. They would be considered, on the smaller side of things. If there was a scenario where maybe somebody wanted a 2-bedroom home, all of these spaces could get a lot larger. Or perhaps if they wanted only a 1-car garage, we could still keep that one up at the front and maybe absorb some of this space into the house where we could add another bedroom or just expand the size of all of the other bedrooms. And if we did that, I would maybe try to see if I couldn't extend the kitchen a little farther that way. I know it's kind of got this weird hook to it. Still very usable, but that'd be something that I'd explore. If we got a little more room on this side of the house, I would want to maybe see if I could put that somewhere else. Although I don't mind how private it is for visitors to come up and around, but I don't love how it's right across from the primary bedroom. And there you have it. Not too bad, all things considered. I think the number 4 in the configuration that we just showed does make for a pretty functional, usable floor plan, good delineation of spaces, and room sizes that I think are pretty usable. If you had fun following along and have suggestions or ideas for future videos in different shapes that we can turn into floor plans, leave me a note in the comments, gently press the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.